welcome back to the channel. So first off, I want us to understand how to read directions. So literally everything we are doing here today is all about direction, and this is the sign to which you know it's direction. So I'm just going to put a D here. Then when you see a bracket looking this way, the normal bracket, then you should know this is about plane P. So like I said earlier, we're looking at direction. In this video, we will learn how to identify direction before we begin to learn how to draw out direction. So these are unit cells, 6 unit cells, and we have to read out their directions. The origin, it went from this place. I'm just going to denote it with 3 zeros, right? Origin, so it originated from this point and went to this point, right? So now I'm going to erase this origin and let's start. So now we want to travel in direction towards where this arrowhead is, right? We want to travel towards the direction where this arrowhead is. So we start from the point of origin, we come here on the point of origin, we draw out that this is our positive x, this is our negative, this is our positive y direction, and upwards here is our positive z direction. So now let's begin to travel towards, we are traveling on the body of this cubic lattice towards the direction of the arrowhead. So let's start by doing that. So we go on x-axis, we know this is negative x, we stop here. So we know we have minus half because it's half, not a full length. So this is a full length from here to here is 1, right? But since we are traveling from the center backwards, so we'll call that half, and it's on x-axis. So forward this direction is positive, but because we're going in this direction, it has to be negative x, right? So let's erase that again. Let's look at what I just did. Let me erase this also. So remember, I said from the point of origin, our goal is to travel down to the arrowhead. So erasing that again one more time. So let's go again. So we know, okay, from the point of origin, we traveled on x direction, right? So we are going backwards on x. So we have a negative x, right? Then we go on our y direction. We are going against the positive line, so we have a negative, another negative 1y. Remember, it's a full length, it's not an half length. If we had stopped somewhere here in the center, it would be an half, or because it's not in the center, so that's why we call it a full length of y. So now we are not traveling upwards, we are at our junction, so that means our z is 0. Okay, so we might be thinking, why did we not go from here this direction? And also you can see it's a long journey and it's a very confusing one, because we would have 2x figures. We'll have a full x here, 1x here, and half an x here, which doesn't make sense, right? So what I do is I went backwards, as I want to travel just once on each direction. So if I had gone forward here, we're traveling twice on x direction, and I don't really know, haven't seen something like that where you have to travel twice on one direction. So here we are not done. Remember, you have to put this sign there, but we are not done. It's half done at this junction. You can't put a minus in front of this, so you go ahead by saying our goal is to cancel these two. We want single numbers. We want to see something like 1 1 1 0. We want to see something like 1 1 1. We want to see something like 0 0 1 1, right? So we need to cancel out the 2 in this answer we just made. So we'll be multiplying through by 2, right? So if I'm multiplying through by 2, we have minus 1 over 2 times 2, comma, we have minus 1 times 2, right? Then we have 0 times 2. So 2 in here, 1, 2 in here, 1. So we have, now let me draw it under here. We have minus 1. Sorry, we have bar 1. We have bar 1, comma. We don't need to put a comma actually. Then minus 1 times 2, we have bar 2. Then 0 times 2, we have 0. So that's the answer for this guy. I'm just going to go ahead and erase all of the stuff we did here so it can look neat. yeah, that's that about that. Go back here, come down here and meet him here. So this up here is our z-axis, then this direction is our y-axis, and this direction is our x-axis. So the first thing you should know here is our x-axis, this arrow goes against forward, so we know our x is going to be negative x. Then looking at it, we know our y also is going to be a negative y, and looking at it also, we know our z is also going to be a negative z, because it just goes like against the direction of our positive axis, right? So let's travel. Sorry, let me erase. So I just wanted to erase my arrowhead, they looked really weird. Yeah, so let's travel on our x direction. So traveling in our x direction, so we do this on x, a full travel. So we have our x to be -1. Remember, it's going on a negative angle, it's not coming forward. If it was coming forward, that would be a positive, but it was going backwards, so it's negative. So we have -1. Then our goal now to travel on y-axis. So this is our y, this is our y line, this line is our y, sorry, this direction is our y. You get? So now traveling on our y-axis, we go this way, this way, this way, and stop here on our y-axis. So we also have a -1. It's not an half journey, it's a full journey, right? So on our z also, now we are traveling downwards to the arrowhead. So we just got to the z, so that's also a -1. So -1, -1. So for this, we don't have to like cancel anything, multiply through to cancel anything. So our answer would be, remember we had -1, -1, -1. So for our plane here, our answer would be bar 1, bar 1, bar 1. Yeah. So let's go to this third plane. Remember, this is our start point. So this is our x, y, and z direction. So looking at this, right? Looking at this, I just know my x is 0. Because if I come forward on my x, that is me actually going further away from what's it called? Okay, I think let me do it here so you can see it. This is, if I should travel this direction, I'm coming, let's just assume this is the point. I want to replicate the point here. I don't want the drawing to look rough. So if I should travel forward in this direction, right, that's like a positive x. I'm actually going further away, distanced away from my arrowhead. So the next direction I want to go is my y. So if I go on my y, I go this way. Then if I go on my z, you see, I'm literally going away from my arrowhead, right? So my goal is, I'm on the line to which I want to stay at. I'm on the line to which I want to stay at. Like x is already at that point I want it to be. So my x is 0. So see our x is 0. Then I want to go on my y-axis. So we are going on the negative y. Negative y. So we have -1. Then for our z, we are going downwards again. So for the z, we are going on the negative direction. So that's -1/2. So remember, we would have to multiply through by 2. So remember, we're multiplying all through by 2, right? So 0 times 2, I have 0. -1 times 2, I have bar 2. Then for half times 2, I have bar 1. So closing that up. So here I come, I draw my plane. This is my z. This is my y-axis. Sorry, my drawing now is looking weird. This is my y-axis, and I'm supposed to draw forward, right? But I don't want to draw on this red line, so I'm just gonna come this direction. Let's just understand that that's our x direction. Remember, I don't want to draw it directly on that plane because it's gonna affect our drawing. That's the arrow. So again, what do you think? I know we are coming forward, going leftwards, and coming downwards, right? So here our x is not 0. Remember, we are coming forward, going leftwards, and going downward. Now, the reason why we can't go backwards is because we would be having, if we should go backwards this direction, come leftwards next, then come forward again. That's useless. We are having two x's. So remember, our goal is to have just one reading for every direction. So the best direction to go to is to come forward. So on our x-axis, we know we are traveling positively. So I come here, that's half on my x-axis. So I go this direction, this direction. So that's a full journey on my y-axis. So I have negative. Remember, we just traveled against -1. Then on my z direction, I'm traveling against again. So down there, so I have a negative half. So remember, our goal again is to cancel these two in all of this equation. I want to have one figure, so it's by multiplying through by 2. So when I multiply through by 2, I have 1 by 2, and I have by 1. This is my z, this direction is my y, and this direction is my x. Okay, so traveling on this plane, right? My goal is to get to this arrowhead. So on my x plane, I think from my x plane, I know I'm going this direction, then I'm climbing upwards at the back here. So let me erase that and let's start traveling. So remember, we're traveling against, so we have a -1, right? Then we're traveling this direction, so we have a negative, that's on y. So your goal is to always travel x, y, z axis. You get, when you're traveling x, y, z axis, so you can have like a good reading. So on our y axis, we have a -1 also. Then we are going upwards to z, so that's a positive half. So remember, we are trying to multiply through by 2 just to cancel through all. So we have here our final reading. We have bar 2, then we have bar 2, and we have 1 start point. So I want to travel first on x direction. Okay, let me draw out the plane for people who don't still understand. Sorry. So this is my y, this is my x, and this is my z. So on my x-axis, remember we have to travel x, y, z. So on my x plane, I come forward. That's a very positive guy. So 1. So on my y plane, I go this direction, and I have 1. So I have nothing to do on x-axis, so that's just 0. So this is like a very nice reading to take, and a simple one to be precise. So yeah guys, whatever it is that is not understandable, let me know.